What you are about to hear might sound like something out of a disaster movie, but every bit of it is real. As I record this on Saturday, February the 8th, 2026, the eastern United States is waking up to some of the most brutal cold we have seen all winter. Wind chills are approaching 40 below zero in parts of upstate New York. Frostbite can set in on exposed skin in under 15 minutes, and this might just be a preview of what the rest of February has in store. We are entering a 10-day stretch, February 7th through the 16th, that has all the ingredients to become one of the most talked about periods of winter weather in recent memory. Multiple rounds of snow, dangerous Arctic air, a dramatic warm-up, and then a potentially major storm system right around Valentine's Day. Some of what we are experiencing right now is drawing direct comparisons to one of the most legendary winters in modern American history, the infamous polar vortex winter of 2013-2014. I am going to walk you through everything region by region, city by city. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. Let me set the stage. The weather pattern driving all of this is strikingly similar to what unfolded during the brutal 2013-2014 winter. Back then, the polar vortex collapsed and stretched southward, locking a deep trough over the eastern United States, while a stubborn ridge dominated the west. That pattern funneled wave after wave of Arctic air deep into the lower 48. New York, Philadelphia, and Chicago all recorded one of their 10 snowiest winters ever. Detroit shattered its all-time seasonal snowfall record. The Great Lakes froze to 92.5% coverage. Wind chills across the northern plains plunged into the minus 50s and 60s. Economic damage topped $5 billion. It was the winter that branded the term polar vortex into the national vocabulary forever. Now fast forward to right now. This winter of 2025-2026 has been operating under a remarkably similar script. A weak La Niña fading toward neutral. A displaced polar vortex that has repeatedly stretched southward. And that same pattern of western ridging paired with eastern troughing. January delivered a historic storm that dumped feet of snow across the Corollas and Virginia, killed nearly 80 people across 16 states, and knocked out power to millions. Cold, stunned iguanas fell from trees in Florida. NASA delayed a moon launch because of Arctic air reaching the Space Coast. This is not a normal winter. Let me start with what is happening right now. A powerful Arctic front swept through the Northeast overnight. Wind chills this morning are running 25 to 35 below zero across Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and northern New England. Albany could see wind chills approach 40 below zero by tomorrow morning, which is in the same ballpark as some of the coldest readings during the January 2014 polar vortex event. Extreme cold warnings are posted from Pennsylvania through Maine. Lake effect snowbands have been firing relentlessly off the Great Lakes, with localized spots downwind of Erie and Ontario piling up over a foot. The Tug Hill Plateau is getting hammered just like during 2013-2014, when one lake effect event dropped 5 ft of snow there. Let me break down what each region and its major cities are facing over the next 10 days, February 7th through the 16th. The Northeast is ground zero for the most extreme cold. New York City experienced snow showers and gusty northwest winds overnight, with wind chills dropping to 15 to 20 below zero. By Valentine's Day weekend, models signal a potentially significant storm that could bring snow, ice, or rain depending on the track. During 2013-2014, the city ranked among its top 10 snowiest seasons, and this year is already well above normal. Boston is enduring one of its coldest stretches in years, with wind chills approaching 25 to 30 below zero and sub-zero temperatures Sunday morning. The city has picked up over 15 in more snow than normal this season. During the follow-up 2014-2015 winter, Boston received an astonishing 71.8 in February alone. While we are not expecting that extreme, the pattern keeps the door open for more significant accumulations. Philadelphia saw snow squalls and dangerous wind gusts overnight with wind chills 10 to 20 below zero. Philadelphia had its second snowiest winter ever during 2013-2014. Albany and upstate New York are bearing the worst of it, with wind chills hitting 40 below by Sunday. Buffalo and Syracuse remain locked under persistent lake effect bands, with another 2 to 5 impossible. The Midwest has been getting pounded by clippers and Arctic air for weeks. Chicago saw snow showers Friday, and wind chills this weekend will run 20 to 25 below zero. During the polar vortex of January 2014, Chicago hit -16°. Chicago recorded its third snowiest winter ever that season, and the Valentine's Day system could bring another round of accumulating snow here. Detroit is in the crosshairs of lake effect snow, with 3 to 6 additional inches possible this weekend. Detroit set its all-time snowiest winter record during 2013-2014. Minneapolis is in the deep freeze with wind chills near 30 below, though relief comes by midweek as the ridge pushes east. Indianapolis picked up 1 to 3 on Friday and faces dangerous wind chills through Sunday. Now, here is the twist. Starting Monday, February 9th, that western ridge is going to shift east of the Continental Divide and send temperatures soaring across the plains and Midwest. I am talking 30 to 40 degrees above normal. Omaha could hit the mid-60s Monday afternoon. Des Moines is looking similar. Sioux Falls might flirt with 60 in February. Kansas City, Oklahoma City, and Dallas could see 70s and low 80s. Little Rock and Shreveport could push into the mid-70s. This kind of wild contrast happened during 2013-2014 too, when California experienced its warmest winter on record while the East froze. The temperature difference between the two halves of the country was among the most extreme ever documented. But that warm air is going to slam into a wall. A trough parked over the northwest Atlantic will act as a barrier preventing the warmth from reaching the East Coast. So while Omaha is enjoying springtime temperatures, New York and Boston could still be struggling through the 30s. That collision zone between the warm and cold air masses is what meteorologists call a Baracklan clinic zone, and it is exactly the kind of setup that breeds powerful storm systems. The Ohio Valley and Appalachian region sits right at the battleground. Pittsburgh saw 2 to 4 in of snow with wind chills dropping to 15 below this weekend. And the Valentine's Day system could bring another significant snow or ice event. The mountains of West Virginia are the big winners on the snow side, with higher elevations already stacking up 8 to 12 in from this latest round, and ski resorts seeing half a foot to a foot. Charleston and Parkersburg continue to see steady accumulations. Asheville and the Smoky Mountains in western North Carolina have been picking up impressive totals with the orographic lift, and the pattern supports more snow chances through mid-Mon. Even Lexington, Kentucky, and the Triad region of North Carolina have seen snow this week. The Southeast felt the cold penetrate unusually far south. Record-breaking cold and rare snowfall have already hit parts of the Carolinas, Georgia, and even Florida this winter, echoing 2013-2014, when the Gulf Coast experienced wintry precipitation that stunned residents. Atlanta, Charlotte, and Raleigh should watch the Valentine's Day system carefully, as the warm sectors south of the storm track could bring heavy rain and even marginal severe weather with gusty winds, hail, and an isolated tornado threat. Out west, the story is completely different, but equally significant. The Pacific Northwest is getting drenched by a powerful storm system this weekend. Seattle, Olympia, and Portland are looking at 2 to 4 inches of rain in the lowlands, while the Cascades could see 2 feet or more of mountain snow. This is desperately needed as snowpack across the Sierra Nevada and many Cascade basins has been running 50 to 70% of normal. Northern Idaho, western Montana, and British Columbia are also getting in on the action. The NOAA February outlook highlights a potential pattern shift that could bring more moisture to the west through the month, driven by a strengthening Madden-Julian oscillation, pushing energy into the Pacific jet stream. Now, let me tell you about the storm that has my full attention. As we push toward Valentine's Day weekend, February 13th through 15th, both the American and Canadian models are converging on a significant system developing along the southern plains. A low-pressure center is expected to track across the Tennessee Valley or Mid-Atlantic. On the northwest side of that track, winter storm impacts with snow and ice across the Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Northeast. On the warm side, heavy rain and severe weather threats from East Texas through the Southeast. The exact track will make all the difference. A shift of just 50 miles could mean the difference between a foot of snow and a cold rain for cities along the I-95 corridor. During 2013-2014, the Weather Prediction Center tracked 27 significant winter storms from November through May. We are on pace for a similarly hyperactive season. Looking at the tail end of this period, February 15th and 16th, the aftermath of the Valentine's Day storm will determine whether the cold reloads or the warmth pushes east. European guidance suggests the third week of February could bring a temporary reprieve from the deepest cold, but signals for late February point to another strong cold shot building across the Canadian prairies. When that Arctic air pushes south and collides with warmth, it creates another breeding ground for storms. There are already indications of another potential winter storm in the last week of February, possibly a Colorado or Texas panhandle low tracking up the I-95 corridor. So where does this winter rank compared to 2013-2014? We are not quite there in terms of sustained duration. That winter held its grip from December through March, with barely a break. But in terms of individual storm intensity, the breadth of the cold, and the number of high-impact events, this winter is absolutely in the conversation. The January storm that paralyzed the Southeast was arguably more impactful than any single event from that legendary season. The Arctic blasts have been comparable in magnitude, and the pattern shows no signs of fully releasing the eastern United States from winter's grip. The bottom line for February 7th through the 16th is this dangerously cold wind chills this weekend across the Northeast and Great Lakes. A dramatic and record-challenging warm-up across the plains and Midwest by midweek. A potentially major storm system targeting the heart of the country around Valentine's Day, and a pattern that continues to echo one of the most infamous winters in modern American history. Winter 2026 is far from over. Stay safe, stay warm, and I will keep you updated every step of the